2024 November 10th. Daily Bread Passage. 2 Samuel chapter 19 verse 24 to 43. Key verse. Verse 32. Title: Two True and Loyal Friends of David. Mephibosheth, Saul's grandson, also went down to meet the king. He had not taken care of his feet or trimmed his mustache or washed his clothes from the day the king left until the day he returned safely. When he came from Jerusalem to meet the king asked him, "Why didn't you go with me, Mephibosheth?" He said, "My lord the king, since I your servant am lame, I said, I will have my donkey saddled and will ride on it, so I can go with the king, but Ziba my servant betrayed me. And he has slandered your servant to my lord the king. My lord the king is like an angel of God, so do whatever you wish. All my grandfather's descendants deserved nothing but death from my lord the king, but you gave your servant a place among those who eat at your table. So what right do I have to make any more appeals to the king?" The king said to him, "Why say more? I order you and Ziba to divide the land." Mephibosheth said to the king, "Let him take everything, now that my lord the king has returned home safely." Barzillai the Gileadite also came down from Rogelim to cross the Jordan with the king and to send him on his way from there. Now Barzillai was very old, 80 years of age. He had provided for the king during his stay in Mahanaim, for he was a very wealthy man. The king said to Barzillai, "Cross over with me and stay with me in Jerusalem, and I will provide for you." But Barzillai answered the king, "How many more years will I live, that I should go up to Jerusalem with the king? I am now 80 years old. Can I tell the difference between what is enjoyable and what is not? Can your servant taste what he eats and drinks? Can I still hear the voices of male and female singers? Why should your servant be an added burden to my lord the king? Your servant will cross over the Jordan with the king for a short distance, but why should the king reward me in this way? Let your servant return, that I may die in my own town near the tomb of my father and mother. But here is your servant Kimham. Let him cross over with my lord the king. Do for him whatever you wish." The king said, "Kimham shall cross over with me, and I will do for him whatever you wish. And anything you desire from me I will do for you." So all the people crossed the Jordan, and then the king crossed over. The king kissed Barzillai and bid him farewell, and Barzillai returned to his home. When the king crossed over to Gilgal, Kimham crossed with him. All the troops of Judah and half the troops of Israel had taken the king over. Soon all the men of Israel were coming to the king and saying to him, "Why did our brothers, the men of Judah, steal the king away and bring him and his household across the Jordan, together with all his men?" All the men of Judah answered the men of Israel, "We did this because the king is closely related to us. Why are you angry about it? Have we eaten any of the king's provisions? Have we taken anything for ourselves?" Then the men of Israel answered the men of Judah, "We have 10 shares in the king, so we have a greater claim on David than you have. Why then do you treat us with contempt? Weren't we the first to speak of bringing back our king?" But the men of Judah pressed their claims even more forcefully than the men of Israel. Between Saul's relatives, Shimei was an opportunist, but Mephibosheth, the son of Jonathan, was unwaveringly loyal to David. He didn't adorn himself, shave his beard, nor wash his clothes until the day he returned safely. He shared in David's suffering. He came to David and said that he could not go with the king because he was lame, and his servant refused to help him and instead slandered him. When David ordered him and Ziba to divide the land, Mephibosheth was not bitter. Rather, he was happy just because David had safely returned home. He was loyal at heart as his father Jonathan was. He did not betray David's favor. He stood by David through thick and thin. Barzillai had provided for David during his stay in Mahanaim. King David was grateful and, wanting to return the favor, asked Barzillai to come to Jerusalem with him. However, Barzillai refused, for he did not serve David to receive anything in return. He served David out of a pure love for the king. So, Barzillai was happy to send David back to Jerusalem again. All Barzillai wanted for himself was to go back to his hometown, lest he should be a burden to David in his old age. He was not an opportunist. We learn from him how to serve others with a heart and mind of Christ for the sake of their well-being. Prayer. Lord, grant me loyalty to you and to my friends and help me serve others out of pure love. One word. Unwavering loyalty and servantship.